Welcome back to Web Workshop, brought to you by Zorrow Tech IT Solutions. In this session, we'll explore HTML tables. Tables are a powerful way to organize and display data in rows and columns. We'll cover the basics of creating tables, adding headers, and using advanced features like row span and call span. Let's get started. Basic table structure. A table is created using the table tag. Inside the table, you use TR tags for rows, TD tags for data cells, and TH tags for header cells. Here's how it works. You start with an opening table tag. Inside the table, you add TR tags for each row. Inside each TR tag, you add TD tags for data cells or TH tags for header cells. You close the table tag with a closing tag. For example, you can create a simple table to display student information. Let me demonstrate this in VS Code. Watch as I create a basic table and see how it looks in the browser. A table is created using the table tag. Inside it, we use TR, table row, for rows, TH, table header, for headings, and TD, table data, for content. Table headers. Table headers are used to label columns or rows. They are created using the TH tag. By default, headers are bold and centered. Here's how it works. You replace the TD tags with TH tags for header cells. Headers can be placed in the first row, first column, or both. For example, you can add headers for student names, subjects, and grades. Let me show you how this works in VS Code. In the example we created earlier for the basic table structure, we used the TH tag for the table headers. You might have noticed that the text inside TH appears bold and centered by default. This helps make the table more readable and organized, clearly distinguishing the column headings from the data below. Table borders and styling. By default, HTML tables don't have borders. You can add borders using the style attribute or CSS. Here's how it works. You add the style attribute to the table tag. Inside the style attribute, you set the border property to add borders. For example, you can add a border to the table and its cells using the style attribute. Let me demonstrate this in VS Code. We've already created a table, so let's enhance it by adding borders and some styling. The border assign 1 attribute adds a simple border to the table and its cells. For better control, we use the style attribute with CSS properties like border collapse, text align, and background color. Border collapse removes extra spaces between borders. Background color light gray makes the header stand out. Text align center makes text neatly aligned. Row span for merging rows. The row span attribute is used to merge 2 or more rows into a single cell. Here's how it works. You add the rowspan attribute to a TD or TH tag. You set the rowspan attribute to the number of rows you want to merge. For example, you can merge 2 rows to create a cell that spans multiple rows. Let me demonstrate this in VS Code. The rowspan attribute allows a single cell to stretch across multiple rows. This is useful when we want to show group data like a student with multiple subjects. Let's modify our table to merge rows where a student has multiple subjects. Rowspan assign 2 merges 2 rows under the name column for Alice. The second row doesn't need a name cell since it's merged. Bob's row remains normal, as he has only 1 subject. Without rowspan, we would have to repeat Alice in both rows, making the table look cluttered. Now, the table is cleaner and easier to read. Callspan for merging columns. The callspan attribute is used to merge 2 or more columns into a single cell. Here's how it works. You add the callspan attribute to a TD or TH tag. You set the callspan attribute to the number of columns you want to merge. For example, you can merge 2 columns to create a header that spans multiple columns. Let me show you how this works in VS Code. To make our table more structured, we can add a main heading that spans across multiple columns. Instead of creating separate headers for each column, we can use the callspan attribute to merge cells into one large heading. This makes the table look more organized and visually appealing. The main heading spans 3 columns using callspan assign 3. This creates a single, centered title for the table. The second row contains the actual headers for name, subject, and grade. Table caption. A caption is used to add a title or description to the table. It is placed inside the caption tag, which is added immediately after the opening table tag. Here's how it works. You add the caption tag after the opening table tag. Inside the caption tag, you add the title or description. For example, you can add a caption like student grades to your table. Let me show you how this works in VS Code. Watch as I add a caption to the table and see the result in the browser. Recap. Let's quickly recap what we learned today. 1. Basic table structure. Use the table, tr, td, and th tags to create a table. 2. Table headers. Use the th tag to label columns or rows. 3. Table borders. Use the style attribute to add borders. 4. Callspan. Use the callspan attribute to merge columns. 5. Rowspan. Use the rowspan attribute to merge rows. 6. Table caption. Use the caption tag to add a title or description. Assignment. Here's a simple assignment for you. 1. Create an HTML file named tables.html. 2. Add the following elements. A table with headers for name, subject, and grade. Use callspan to merge columns in the header. Use rowspan to merge rows in the data cells. Add a caption to the table. Use the style attribute to add borders and basic styling. 3. Open the file in your browser and share a screenshot of the output. In the next class, we'll dive into HTML forms. You'll learn how to create forms to collect user input, including text fields, checkboxes, radio buttons, and more. Get ready to make your web pages interactive. Thank you for joining this session of Web Workshop. If you found this class helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tutorials. Happy coding, and I'll see you in the next class.